Welcome back to my channel. This summer we've been following my garden and some of the crops that I've been planting. I've had blueberries, blackberries, corn, potatoes, peanuts, a big variety of crops that I've been growing. And so today I'm going to talk about what went well and what did not go well. So one of the first ones that went well is these lemons. I had these lemons up on my patio all summer, so they were covered in shade so that they were not getting destroyed by the 95-degree heat. But now that it's not so hot, coming into September, I've moved them into my backyard where they can get full sun. I am starting to see how they are actually starting to produce some new plants or some new leaves on the sticks, so that's really nice. This time of year they start to flower again. In the spring they flowered and I produced these lemons that I had, and I'm starting to actually see a few new lemons that are showing up on this plant. So these all did really well by keeping them in the shade. I had one that was not fully covered in the shade, so let's look at that real quick. This lemon plant is pretty interesting. It was completely dead, I thought, being out in the sun so all summer. And I moved it out here just this week, now that it's cooled off, and I've got all these new growths. So I might be able to save this plant and it might come back. When it becomes winter, I put them inside, and I've learned to not water them too much when they're inside. But this plant looks like it might be coming back. So this is the original lemon plant that I first purchased from Fast Growing Trees about 5 years ago. It hasn't grown massively big. It's kind of trimmed more into like this bush size of a lemon tree, and I have not actually had any lemons from this, and this probably stunted the growth by what is happening to it. But I've got new growth on it. I'm pretty excited because I was convinced it was a goner. Next on my list of plants that went well is grapes. These right here are Concord grapes. We've reached the end. Oh, we have a lizard climbing in the grapes right there. But these grapes did do really well. I got more grapes this year than I did last year, so that was really exciting. Up here I have Razzmatazz grapes, and they're a combination of muscadines and grape. They are muscadines, but they do not have seeds. They are very small. And it's coming to September and I still have green grapes that are growing. They'll turn red when they're ready. But the Razzmatazz have been really good. We've really enjoyed that, and they have taken over the complete top of this trellis. Down here I have blueberries. There's no more blueberries left. We got blueberries for about a month. So the things I've learned about blueberries is at this point, I don't have to do a lot of work with them. They are about 5, maybe 6 years old now, and I basically water them and feed them. And we had a good month of June, July of a decent amount of blueberries. We're getting about a handful every day. And so the blueberries were definitely successful. The blueberries, the grapes, the Razzmatazz are all finally starting to pay for themselves. We paid for the plants up front, but now they're not costing me too much, and they're producing enough fruit that we are able to basically get handfuls of them every day. And another crop that I planted this year that went really well were potatoes. I did sweet potatoes, which I just pulled these this week, and these went pretty well. My wife has already cooked a few of them, so we'll be eating these soon. And then the other potatoes that I planted that went really well were Yukon gold potatoes. I pulled these quite a while ago actually, and this is all I have left. We've just been eating these all summer. And so these ones definitely paid for themselves. These have been worth it, and I did both of these in grow bags, and you can watch those videos on my channel. I will do sweet potatoes again next year, and I'll definitely do Yukon gold potatoes. These actually have little eyes starting to grow on them again, so maybe I'll save some of these or figure out how I can save them to plant them. So I'll have to look that up because I'm still learning on some of this stuff. But potatoes were definitely a success. And the other things that I grew this year in grow bags were peanuts. They did pretty well. I was really excited to be able to pull them out of the ground, see what I got. I had a decent amount of peanuts, and so I was really excited about that. And then I put them out to dry because you have to put them out for a few days, and I made the mistake of leaving them where either squirrels or rabbits could get to them, and they ate all of them up. Unfortunately, I don't have any peanuts this year, and that is a bummer. So they were successful and not successful at the same time. And so now let's go talk about corn, which started successful and also ended unsuccessful. Up here is my corn, and as you can see, it definitely did not do very well. The thing is, it was going really well for about half the summer. I had a water hose that was up here into this corn, which is in a raised garden bed, so I knew it would take a little bit of water, and so I'd come up here and I'd water it every day, but my hose was leaking, so it was giving it water all the time. When I fixed my leaking hose, I was stopping some of the water coming to the corn, and it didn't take long and it completely died off. Last year I learned to make sure I was feeding it enough with nitrogen and fertilizer, so I did that this year, and I think that actually worked. But I ran out of water, or I didn't run out of water, I stopped adding water and my corn died off. So next year I really have to make sure, especially if I'm going to do corn in a raised garden bed like this, that it has lots of water. Corn really is not easy to grow. It's something that I just keep trying every year. It's kind of up here out of the way, so I kind of forget about it. Maybe that's part of the problem, but I will keep trying. Here's a massive spider. I don't really want to walk through this. Look at that guy. He's huge. I actually don't like that. We're going to have to do something about that. I do not know what kind of spider it is, but look at it go. And here are my blackberries. They've died off for the summer, but I've got new shoots for next year, so I'll have to keep a hold of those. These blackberries actually got massive. They come all the way across here, and some of them go all the way across the back of the patio, and they're covered up there around with the grapes. So this is the Razzmatazz grape I talked about. It goes all the way up, covers everything. So it's a mixture of raspberries, Razzmatazz grapes, and there are a few kiwis up there, which I have yet to get any kiwis, and that's what this plant is right here. So hopefully as time goes on, the kiwis will take over. I know this part is a mess right here. Here are the raspberries, but we're starting to get another little raspberry harvest in September. So they're not very big, but you can always have more raspberries because raspberries are good. And here is the trellis I built this summer. You can have a video on that, you can check it out, but it worked really well. I was getting tomatoes for quite a while, and then recently some tomato hornworms got into them and have slowly been eating them, well actually very fast, eating all the leaves. So this is the damage that hornworm tomatoes create on your plants. Just completely destroyed all the leaves. Did not take very long. I have some cantaloupe down here which is still starting to produce, and I'm still got a few tomato flowers that are producing, so that's exciting. And under here is my strawberries, and I need to completely come in here and clean this out. But the strawberries were very successful. I have them covered, but I need to get in here because the grass has taken over the strawberries. So the thing I've learned about strawberries is they actually take quite a bit of work, and I hadn't actually looked at it in about a week or so, and this grass is completely taken over. So I need to spend a day where I come out here, completely clean all of this up. The basil is still in here, that's doing well. But this is the side of the grazed beds where I have the blackberries, raspberries, tomatoes, and strawberries. I know this is a quick little video, but it's kind of just to remind myself what I need to learn, or if anybody has tips on how I can do better. So that's the end of the season update on our garden. So next year we'll do it again. Hopefully we'll do better. The goal is to just keep getting better every year with the videos and with the garden. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.